In today's video, I'll be showing you how to unlock the Blacksmith and upgrade your weapons and spells in Lords of the Fallen. The very first thing that you need to do is progress in the game until you reach the Vestige of Blind Agatha, which is found in the Pilgrim's Perch Bell Room. Just keep exploring and progressing along Pilgrim's Perch and you'll eventually make it here. Once you have access to the Bell Room, you'll want to head right when facing the Vestige and follow along the path until you reach the outside area. You'll have to parkour across some of the swinging platforms and head towards the dead end with the Buckethead guy next to the ladder. Take the ladder and continue running along the path. If this is your first time here, going into Umbral mode may be required to traverse some of the areas, and it will definitely be required to access the entrance of the cave here. The area is blocked by an Umbral entity, which means you'll have to follow the giant Umbral roots and soulflay the sources of them to open the door. It's a pretty simple puzzle, you might just want to take care of the enemies before doing it. In this video, I've already completed that step, so all I had to do was go into Umbral mode and open the door to the cave. Once you're inside, there's a spot to create a vestige if you want, which I would highly recommend doing so that you don't need to run all the way back here if you die. Climb down the ladder and you'll end up over top a giant cage with two NPCs in it. Guarding the cage are a few hounds and one of those big dudes with that circular radiant shield, and killing him will drop the prison cell key, which you can then give to the blacksmith. Once you give the key away, you can just teleport back home to Skyrest, and you'll find them available right in the main area opposite of where Molhul is, up these left set of stairs. After speaking to the blacksmith for a bit, you'll get access to upgrading your equipment. From this screen you can choose any weapon to upgrade, which requires both Vigor, which I'm just going to call souls, and a resource/currency called Duralium fragments. There are 4 tiers of these fragments. These allow you to upgrade your weapons and spells, with the higher tiers of these fragments being required the more you level up an item. You can find these fragments as random loot both from small pickups on the ground and from soulflaying those Umbral statues around the game. You can actually find some Duralium fragments immediately if you fast travel to that vestige I recommended making earlier, as the prison cage where the blacksmith was kept contains 4 small fragments. When choosing a weapon to upgrade, make sure to pay attention to its stats. For example, Pieta's sword specializes in holy damage, and upgrading the weapon will further increase its holy damage and attack power, as well as the total amount of runes that you can slot into it. The weapon also tells you which stats it benefits from by showing a letter grade next to that stat. Pieta's sword not only requires a radiance of 25 to use, but the higher your radiance stat, the more damage it will do. This is the case for all weapons, like my Fists of Insight, which benefit from the agility stat. So to actually get the most out of a weapon, you'll want its associated stats to be leveled up. Through the blacksmith, you can also upgrade your catalysts, which in turn upgrades any spells that can be equipped while using that catalyst by making them more efficient and able to deal more damage. Upgrading catalysts also requires those Duralium fragments, and like weapons, each catalyst has specific stats that it benefits from. Once progressing far enough in the game, you'll find tablets to bring back to the blacksmith, and eventually you'll gain the ability to slot runes into your weapons, which can make them even better. Hopefully this guide was useful to you. Thank you for watching, everyone, and if you'd like to see more Lords of the Fallen guides, you can check the description for a link to that playlist, or click the playlist in the outro.